What things do guys do that make girls super excited? Story 1. I absolutely adore when an insignificant other goes on passionate rants about things. It could be things as important as world oil prices to how cereal manages to escape bowls when you pour milk into them. Sounds weird, but intelligence and passion are really big draws for my attention. Or they could just have the glittery-eyed expression when they explain things to me and realize that I get it. Most people get frustrated explaining things, but I see patience as a virtue that I can learn from. Yes, learning is sexy, so that explains why all those adult film stars are dressed in school uniforms. Because learning is sexy. Story 2. Be confident. Be from a geographical location that gives you a mild accent. Profit. Nothing sexier than some strangely pronounced vowels spoken by someone who can look you in the eyes and not stutter. People like people who are happy and secure with themselves, even if they aren't tens. There really isn't that much to it. Who knew an accent could make hearts melt like jelly? Story 3. My partner and fellow Redditor did 2 memorable things which led to rampant lovemaking. 15 years ago, when we had been together for a few months, he prepared a decadent champagne breakfast with strawberries dipped in chocolate, etc., for my return from an overnight bus trip. I walked into my house, groggy and tired, at 7:30 a.m. to a spotless house. He even scrubbed the mold off my bedroom walls and had laid out some sexy negligee and roses on my bed. He got some action that night. Fast forward a year, and I returned home to find he had transformed the bungalow we were living in into a fairy den with sparkly streamers hanging from the ceiling, butterflies everywhere, crystals, wish stones, and candles. That also led to a wild night. Shortly saying, my partner did some insanely romantic things that required a lot of effort. On many other occasions, however, he has simply pestered me to get into bed, put some hot movie on, and waited till I begged him for it. It seems like the partner has 2 modes, romantic mastermind and hot movies and pestering, and both modes seems to get the job done. Story 4. Some hands in the hair, grabbing me as I walk away for one more kiss, etc. I also love seeing a man in just jeans. Even if you don't have the best body, I find something about that looks so sexy. Chivalry is always good. Love that. A first date could go bad, but if the guy pulls out the chivalry, I'll give him another shot or 2. It suggests that you are actually going to care about me once we get to business. I also love having my bum grabbed. Playfully or simply for your enjoyment, I don't care. I love it. Story 5. Napoleon was right. Girls like guys with skills. Like, even if you're not really good looking, if you're a musician, I will find you very attractive in spite of your physical mediocrity. Or even other skills like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills, etc. Girls only want boyfriends who have great skills. If my significant other can do things that I can't, and every time he has to do something for me, it's instant sexy time. Story 6. The only trick I know, and I came by it by accident, is to breathe long and deep into her ear while you are getting it on. Kind of like when Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas are about to enter the paths of the dead in The Return of the King, and the breath from the tunnel scares their horses off. Well, kind of. If you ever get it done to yourself, it sends shivers up your spine. Done wrong, you might come off as a weird pervert who shouldn't be dealt with, but if you do it jokingly or seriously without coming off as peculiar, all depending on context and judgment, it can have great payoffs. Also, nuzzling and kissing underneath the small of the chin near the ear. Some girls like to be lifted and thrown around, etc., which is another good tip. But don't do it if you don't think you can without putting in too much effort. For some reason, my ex-girlfriend was slim but seemed to weigh a ton. Big-boned, I guess, but she also never played ball and would go straight as a board, which I suspect was a subliminal test of my manhood. And nothing is a bigger turnoff for a girl than having to strain you voice in reply to her query, "What? Do I weigh too much?" No, not at all. Before you quickly shuffle step and drop down onto the bed just as your knees are about to give way. Not that I have much experience by any means, but all my best experiences have been when you break a girl's self-consciousness with a little bit of humor. Story 7. I accidentally made my friend excited once by driving really fast. It was around 3 in the morning and she had to be home at 2, so I dropped off another friend and she was getting all nervous and said, "Step on it." And I was driving my dad's beast of a car because mine was in the shop, so I step it on it. In about 6 seconds we were doing like 90, and this car won't stop burying you into your seat until well past 120. We made it to her house in no time, and she explained to me that I should do that with any and every girl that I wanted to sleep with because it'd work. Story 8. Dancing. You being expressive. And planning fun things to do on dates and having a well-rounded life and being passionate and loyal to friends and family. My husband of 11 months, we've been together for almost 4 years, didn't try to baffle me with BS when we first met either. I get really turned on when we dance together, be it at a club, concert, salsa, or Argentine tango. Also, there's this thing he does with his lips, and girls like to be spun around when dancing. It makes us giggle and feel giddy and excitement ensues. Story 9. The other person in my class walked in, slammed his books down, quite obviously angry, and started to rant. I wanted him to. So I guess it's assertiveness, with a mix of confidence and, well, how high up they are on the attractive meter. I was using that one experience as an example, but I think my main point was being confident, and that when a guy shows what is almost a more aggressive side to him, it can be such a turn-on. E.g., it kind of makes you think of him being like that in the bedroom. But saying that, the instant a guy is mean, I'm instantly turned off. In my mind, being aggressive is more being manly, and being mean is, well, being a douchebag. These two characteristics are not the same. Story 10. I've often found the easiest way to get a girl to go head over heels for me with minimal effort in my part is to let her have one of my hoodies. To date, I've been told that every girl has ever gone to bed with me, that they love my smell, and they like to wear my clothes because of it. A sizable number of women indeed. I just realized I treat my hoodies like the rebellion treated. It's both ends. Many hoodies die to bring me information. Story 11. My boyfriend rides his bike with a little trailer hitch on it for my son all the time. Every time we pass a group of girls, it doesn't matter what age, and he's got the little guy in the back, they always get the upturned eyebrow, "Aw, whoa, look." Sometimes you can hear them audibly say, "Oh my God." I can hear them ovulating in unison. Perhaps that isn't the ragingly exciting thing you had in mind, but hey, ovulation equals excitement equals getting freaky. I guess there's just something about a fit guy on a bike, but never in Lycra, preferably with a man bag. Or a guy not shy of being adorable with his dog in public is awesome too. The point is, there is something about men who are great with kids or cute animals, because both are adorable, that can catch any woman's attention. It must be because it makes us fantasize that he can be good with our kids in the future. Tori 12. When a guy's got a strong neck and shoulders, and he's bending over something on the ground, doing something manual labory in the sun. I'm short, so this way I can see it. And the sun glistens on his sweet on the back of his tanned neck, and his hair is super short. Oh mercy. Take me. Take me now on this beautiful green grass. Sprinkler man. Pool guy. Lawn dude. Man who loads the groceries into my car. If the muscles on your forearms ripple and move in a million ways when you're doing something with your hands, oh good Lord. I quiver a little just thinking about it. If you want more, I've got more. All day long, smiling big at me for no good reason at all. A big ol', "How you doing?" kind of smile with some eye contact. Oh my. Yeah, if I just stand there grinning and biting my lip at you when you do this, please remain still while I run through a quick make-out dry hump fantasy of you and file your image for quick handily reference later. Right on, and thank you very much. Pulls t-shirt off by grabbing it behind his neck and pulling it up from the back. Oh God. I need to get off Reddit. I could do this all day long. Seems like this girl has a radar for hot moments in everyday life, and every guy around is a potential leading man. Story 13. Neck kissing. A deep hug. Putting my hair behind my ear. Unexpectedly kiss me. Look me deep in the eyes and tell me something sweet. Then again, maybe everything turns me on. Story 14. Gal here. Guys, smile a lot. Laugh at her jokes. Make eye contact, especially when smiling. Be considerate and chivalrous, and give little touches on the shoulder or arm. That's a good way to get started. Also a cheeky yet subtle wink or sexy conspiratorial flick of the eyebrow, in the right context, can turn most girls to jelly. Story 15. My hormone triggers that don't involve physical touch, so something that maybe a stranger or a new person could do. All involve sort of not bedroom tricks, and more revolve around what a good partner they would be. I'm not sure what that says about me, Law. When I think about it, though, anything involving adrenaline can translate to getting excited, such as a motorcycle ride or sword fighting. I think maybe some girls find being picked up in a bar to be a dangerous, adrenaline-inducing thing. Just speculating. Story 16. There's never a guaranteed answer to this because these things change over time. A girl that ovulating may be very receptive to men, but if not the same guys or their actions to turn the girl on, will go unnoticed. It's time and place. And a lil luck, dude. Be intuitive, be aware and receptive, and you'll be better off than figuring out a specific move. Spot on. Trying to decode the turn-on formula is like chasing a moving target. So instead of searching for the secret code, let your intuition be your wingman. Story 17. Nothing grabs me like confidence, but it needs to be coupled with some sort of recognition of me as a person. Guy walking up to me, telling they think I'm attractive and asking me out is not hot. Why? While it's confident, they know nothing about me other than they want to do me. I feel like a piece of meat. Better. Guy walks up to me, strikes up relevant conversation for 15-20 minutes, in which they are able to learn some basic facts about me. Like, oh, I don't know, I'm into medieval sword fighting or something. And I'm able to learn some basic facts about him. He likes flower arranging or whatever. And we talk for just long enough for him to realize that I can be a little different sometimes, and then asks me out. Mostly, I want to know that I can be myself and not have to worry about him thinking I'm a freak the whole time. Also, I like a challenge. So be confident, throw some interest in my direction, then lay off. It will drive me nuts. I'll definitely save that for later. It's all about that confidence with substance vibe. It's not about the pickup line. Story 18. The dishes. According to my wife, I am so serious. Doing chores is like serious when you're married. The appreciation your woman may feel for you helping out with household chores, especially ones normally defined as a woman's job, may turn into a desire. You do something for her. She does something for you, in a sense, and remember that you have to do it on occasion. If you do it regularly, its effect fades because it becomes an expectation. Story 19. Being thrown up against a wall. Not bruisingly so, of course, but not all gentle and sweet either. And being kissed deeply. So good. I also love it when said guy, or girl, depending on your tastes, picks you up and wraps your legs around his waist while up against the wall. I have had some of my best dreams start off like this. It's only happened in real life a couple of times. Being shoved up against a wall is really hot. Not hard enough to make us think you have anger issues or 4 bruises, but a nice little shove. That gets a shudder of excitement from me. Any physical move that suggests that you need to take me right this instant is going to be good. I told my exes that it would be really hot for him to do this. So one day after lunch, he shoved me into some lockers and started making out with me. This would have been really hot if he didn't push my spine directly into a lock. This is kind of reminding me of the fight and intimate scene in the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Story 20. I can't speak definitively, seeing as I only have on X chromosome. But to add on to all these talks about neck kissing, gently caressing, etc., this has worked for me with every girl, read my hand, I've ever been with. Running my fingertips very gently along their body. The trick is to be very gentle and move in straight lines, followed by the occasional circular swirl. Also, don't forget points of interest, which are basically just areas that are more sensitive to touch than the rest of the body, like belly button, near their crotch, neck, collarbone region, etc. But don't touch, as this move is purely teasing, which gets them worked up as all hell. Story 21. My partner and I are both martial artists. I love it when play fights turn into steamy nights. But just so we're clear, force is hot once you've already given consent. Starting a play fight in the midst of carnal tension and not getting consent from the partner can result in trouble because it's more powerful than the human body can safely handle. Story 22. I'm sure every woman is different, first of all. That in mind, if you want to impress a girl and get her to like you, just behave really inconsistently for a few days. Be wicked nice, then make a cruel joke, etc. They will find you complicated. Women, on the other hand, tend to respond positively to being made to feel safe with just the slightest hint of danger, so dinner at a fancy restaurant. But you go there on a motorcycle. Or, you take her to the movies, then walk through a slightly dangerous part of town to go to a cool bar. They generally want the illusion of danger with the assurance that it won't get too bad. Once they have kids, you basically want a decent job, very little debt, and ideally some hair. A reasonable degree of self-actualization usually doesn't hurt either. I'm curious if women agree with this. I don't think it's exactly the if you tickle the back of her knee you get an instant sloppy kind of advice that you're looking for, but generally this is the kind of stuff that actually works. Never underestimate the power of confidently walking up to a woman, asking if she has a boyfriend, then immediately trying to ask her on a date. This will get your foot in the door 9 out of 10 times if she's single and you have 2 eyebrows. I only have 1, so I generally get 0 out of 10. This dude was on point until the last part. Any dude would probably get a raised eyebrow or a slap on the cheeks if he pulled off a stunt like that. Story 23. Step 1. Get to be casually interested in you as a friend. Go ahead and friend the heck out of her. Step 2. Subtly convey your interest in her romantically, but not too much. Step 3. Hide your attraction to her entirely at this point, and don't talk about it. Body language is important. Step 4. Let it simmer. Eventually she will absolutely need to know what's going on in your head, because she can't figure you out, and will therefore fall for you. Girls love mysteries and things like that. Story 24. My husband 7 years ago acted as if he wasn't really that interested in me. We started hanging out in a large group of people so he would be within the conversation circle, however wouldn't engage in solo conversation with me. He kept me close enough to hear what I was saying or see my facial expressions, but not to close. This eventually sealed the deal with me. Also, he made sure to casually brush up against me once or twice. Story 25. I love that your nibbling or neck hissing thing. Although it kinda tickles me, I'll end up laughing like a crazy person if it's done wrong. I absolutely adore it when guys push up their glasses. It's so sweet and cute. Primarily, it makes me want to get really nasty with them. Honorable mention, when making out, if a guy grabs a fistful of my hair and lightly pulls on it, I'm pretty much his. Story 26. I like teasing that lasts the whole day. It could start at the beginning of the day with morning cuddles and when I'm ready, and he is too. He talks about work or breakfast and denies me. Then throughout the day it continues on with kissing and caresses and more denial until I am ready to just have him any way I can. Oh, yeah. Story 27. I know only you will see this, if you even read this. But I think whispering is one of the hottest things. I used to work in a kitchen, and the head chef would sometimes whisper things in my ear just like, "Could you pass me the whisk?" or "Nice job with the pasta." Even totally actual things in a totally non-actual situation just made me so turned on. Story 28. It's actually ridiculously simple, but I guess this only works if you're markedly bigger than them. They want to be taken. I'm not kidding. The only thing is, you have to be sure they actually want it first, and if you try and we're mistaken, just back off. If you weren't wrong, well, it's going to be a great night. Once you do this though and she's into, you have to commit, no timidity. Just do it and do it right. Story 29. My most recent experience came courtesy of the guy paying extra close attention throughout the evening. I'd only met him the night before, but upon first meeting, he frequently made sure to bump into me while we were talking, put his hand on my arm or my shoulder, etc. Pretty frequent touching. Also great with the eye contact, close attention, other things mentioned throughout. The thing that sealed the deal for him is when he tried to teach me to shag. The dance, kids, in the middle of the crowded bar. He wouldn't give up, and I ended up having a great freaking time. Story 30. Alright, dude here. I'm not expert by any means, but from my experience, fake actions don't work in general. If you actively try to lot at her lame jokes, or be the perfect guy friend she can lean on when she's down, you'll come across as fake and creepy. I really don't think girls get turned on by fake laughs at their lame jokes. Once the girl realizes you're doing this, you're dead in the water. You're just a stupid creep trying to get into her pants. In my honest opinion, be honest and genuine in your reactions. If the joke stinks, give a polite smile, but don't laugh if it ain't funny because girls can spot a faker from a mile away. It has to be genuine, or it'll have the complete opposite effect. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you made it this far, I'm sure you'll also enjoy other video. See you in next video. Bye.